see, the key thing in here is that the most important thing and the joy about the whole essence is that we have been on top of the challenges. We know the challenges that Lagos State is vulnerable to, and the policymakers, who is the chief executive officers of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, has taken clear ownership of emergency or disaster management, and he has political will to solve this. So when you have these things in place, then you as an oppositional person, you'll be happy. You realize that all the tools that you need to work will be provided. Then you'll be able to do the needful. And the good people of Lagos State have been enjoying cool dividends of democracy under the watch of Mr. Governor.
Now, rainy season has come in. What has been the shape of the challenge that we face now?
Now, when you look at what we have put in place, we realize that one of the things that Lagos State is vulnerable to is flood because of its topography, because of its position. Now, the beauty of it is that if you look at our infrastructures, we've improved on our infrastructures to take care of this, starting from the road patterns, starting from the approval given to the good people of Lagos State. So clearly, in terms of preventive aspect, we put a lot of things in place. In terms of early warning, we've put a lot of things in place. We now have a weather forecast institute or agency that is working with our Ministry of Environment. The Ministry of Environment have geared up, they've improved in their games in terms of clearing of second drainages, third drainages, and you can see it has, we've sensitized our people so much about what is going on, what they need to do, what they ought not to do in trying to ensure safety of life of properties. And if you look at the way we are responding to emergency, especially flood emergency, is a way that you should give kudos to this government, because our operation is seamless, effective, efficient, well coordinated, and among all the key stakeholders that are important in managing emergency.
Okay. What I've noticed that over the last 2 weeks or so, there's been rain almost on a daily basis. What advice would you give Lagosians in terms of how to go about their daily life and avoid the floods or the disaster that comes with flooding?
Well, firstly, you will realize that 3 days ago we issued what we call a press release to the good people of Lagos State to tell them that we are aware of the challenges associated with this flood. And it's a natural disaster, really. And we've put a lot of things in place and informed them that, look, if you don't have business going outside, stay home. Take care of your children. Take care of your wards. Take care of your space. Ensure that there's a proper drainage in front of your house. Ensure that your water are well drained to a soakaway or to secondary drainage. Also, ensure that you take proper care of yourself in terms of health-wise. Make sure that you close your window. Make sure that you keep your wards and yourself warm, and ensure that you don't ensure that your tires of your vehicle are well placed. Not only that, don't drive when there is flood on the road. Stay at home. Technology is very good now. You can't build or you can't act upon what is being given to you through technology.
And in terms of the frequency of such challenges, is it on the rise or
It's on the rise. When you are looking at the challenges associated with fraud, it's on the rise, really. but definitely we are trying to be on top of it. Don't forget that Lagos State, a lot of things are going on very well for us. So the neighbors, the neighboring states always moved in mass here to enjoy our facilities. You can see people coming from Oyo, Ogun to come and enjoy our facilities. Not only that, you can see marked increase in the populations of Lagos State. The Ojojo people that are nearby, they are like being in Lagos State. The Ibafo people, the Mowe people, it's like being in Lagos State. And if you look at it clearly, me, na 80% of their drainages is in to Lagos State.
Then would you also say that because of this huge population that come in almost on a daily basis, it has also put a lot of pressure on the.
Definitely, it has put a lot of pressure on the facilities that the Lagos State have. But thank God, the two governments are working together. The Lagos State, Ogun State government are now working together through what we call the Lagos State Ogun Commission. So they are doing things together. They realize it, and they need to partner to be able to solve all this problem.
In terms of the frequency of the challenges you face, which area would you say that is uppermost? There was a time that used to be fire. I think that was during the dry season.
Yeah.
But if you look at it on the whole,
It changes.
okay,
LASEMA handles anything that is life-threatening issues.
okay,
So right now, where we are, the season that we are now is associated with flood. It will change to dry season. When we have dry season, we are going to have more fire incident. So it depends on the season we are, and we are up to it, to the task.
there was a time a few years ago that Lasema used to have motorbikes that.
We do have motorbikes.
Okay.
We do have motorbikes. And the point is that we have really, really reorganized LASEMA.
Okay.
And we've put LASEMA into 21st century place. So, and we've already launched what we call 21st century 5 years plan for LASEMA. So LASEMA is well grounded. All those bikes, they are now what we call flying eagles. And their functions has been increased. The way we use it has been increased.
Okay. Talking about Lasema's response unit, how do you go about that? I know that used to be like in all the local government, in all the central zones.
So what we do is that we realize that the impact of any emergency or disaster is to the grassroots. So what we did is that we build the resilience from the grassroots. We ensure that we have effective and efficient local emergency management committee in place. We ensure that we have effective emergency response team in the 3 centurias. We have offices in 5 divisions of the state. So when you are looking at it, we have impact in all the 57 local government. We have impact in all the 3 centurial. We have impact in all the 5 divisions. And all these are under the watch of Mr. Governor. And we have what we call a command control center. In our command control center, we'll be able to monitor, evaluate all these are doing, including all our primary stakeholders like fire services, like safety commission, building controlling agency, LASEPA, and the neighborhood.
Let's talk about your relationship with other agencies that work with you when there's disaster. What are the major areas?
Well, we work together. It's one Lagos.
Okay.
And it's clear that the primary goal is safety of life and properties. So we work together. We don't work in silhouette. We work as a team. We ensure that working better together is the way to go to achieve the goal of this administration. And if you look at the team of this administration, the thematic pillars of this administration, when you are talking about transport, LASEMA is there. When you are talking about the health, LASEMA is there. When you are talking about hospitality, LASEMA is there. We provided the bedrock, the foundation for all these developments.
Okay. Then how do you advise that people reach you when there's disaster? Is there some phone line?
In Lagos State today, you can reach us through our 112 or 767, or you can call my number directly. My number is 080 6090 7333.
I've also noticed that from inception, you've always had this hands-on approach to the running of LASEMA. Why did you adopt that style?
Which style?
The style of you being leading from the front. I mean, you're always on ground.
Because that is the key to work about it. You must lead. You must be able to be the servant. You must be able to practicalize. Because when you are looking at the emergency or disaster, it's different from one another. You can't say, oh, because you handle this emergency, it's going to be the same way you are going to handle another emergency. And you must learn when you are still on this stage. You must be humble that you are managing the golden hour, and you must work together with your junior ones and the senior ones as a team. Everybody has their roles and responsibility to play. As I am now, I'm still learning. I'm learning new things. I'm building myself and I'm building the capacities of others.
How far have you gone in terms of building the capacity of the team that's back you up when you have?
We've done a lot. We now have a tiger. I can stay at the back and ensure the emergency response of Lagos State. It's not about my humble self. It's about Lagos State. So we have team that could work 24 hours. We've divided the emergency response in such a way that we have the operational team, which we call the bronze group. We have the silver group, which we call the tactical group. We have the golden group, which we call the people that are on top, or they are the top echelon. And we try as much as possible to do training together. We do simulations, exercises together, and we build the resilience from the grassroots. So as I speak, they can respond to emergency at a way effectively and efficiently. We can respond to simultaneously. We can respond to emergency at Badagry. It's the same way because we have the capacity, we have the capability, and we are still building the capacity. The Mr. Governor has approved the 5 year plan. We are coming up with sophisticated equipment. We have some equipment that we are using now. We want to improve on it. Look at our fire services. Our fire services is now conformed with the 21st century fire services all over the world.
So you work together.
We work together as a team.
Let's look at what we would call the biggest challenge that the agency is faced with in terms of trying to quell emergency situations.
Well, the biggest challenges that we face is the people itself. You know, in as much there are rules and regulations put in place, our people are not abiding with it. We've carried out a lot of sensitization. We carry out a lot of awareness. We carry out a lot of advocacy that look, let's work together. Look, about 3 days ago, when we have overturn of a tanker, some of the undesirable elements want to commence scraping of petroleum. These are highly undesirable acts. And these are things that we've been canvassing against. We have to use minimal force to prevent it. So what we are saying, and we are appealing to good people of Lagos State, that we have rules and regulations in place. Abide with it. Look at the boat mishap that occurred about 2 days ago. It shouldn't have occurred. If the captain has abided with the rules and regulations, the rules and regulations is clear. Don't drive on our waterways after 7 o'clock. When you are driving on our waterways, ensure that you use life buoy, you use life jacket. It's simple as ABC. But our people flaunt the rules and regulation. And there's no doubt about that. We've been carrying out a lot of enforcement, and we will continue carrying out enforcement. Look at the building code. We have the building code in place. We have agencies that monitor building plans that give approval. You will still see some people, they will be cutting corners. You will see some people, they will be doing things that they're supposed not to be doing. These are things that always led to disaster or emergency.
Talking about building collapse, what advice you do give to the people out there
The good
to
people
avoid?
of Lagos State, we have appealed to them. Firstly, they need to abide with rules and regulations. Secondly, they need to build their materials, build their building with a substantial material, not a low cost material. They want to cut corners. When you cut corners, you end up having a disaster. When you have disaster, your losses will even be more than the corners that you are taking. And believe me, prevention is better than cure. So our people need to abide with the rules and regulations to be able to get good results.
Let's talk about the achievement of the years. Can you just give us an idea of the things that make you happy when you look back at what the years has been able to do in the last few years?
Personally, when I look back, we started this emergency since 1998. When I look back today, I say kudos to Mr. Governor. I say kudos to the Lagos State government, both past and present. Firstly, in Nigeria, Lagos State has established what we call emergency number. We started with 123, we moved to 767. The federal government joined us in with 112. And thank God everything is effective. Secondly, if you are looking at the command control chain, which means we manage emergency in Lagos State in a cyber way, which means we have a lot of technology put in place all over Lagos State that we can be monitoring, evaluating the way we respond to emergency. Look at our fire services. Our fire services is one of the best in Nigeria. Say it loud and clear. One of the best. We have the equipment. We have personnel that they build their capacity. Look at our safety. Look at our safety commission. Our safety commission is one of the best. And look at our fire services. Look at LASEMA. We have relief camp. We look at all the disaster management in totality. If you look at the preparedness, we are well prepared. If you look at the planning, we are well planned. If you look at the infrastructure, we have relief camps. We have relief camps in Agbowa that take care of the Lagos East. We have relief camp in Igodo that take care of the Lagos West. We are building another relief camp at the central level. We are building the capacity of all the key stakeholders. Look at the mortality, morbidity that are associated with this, the emergency has greatly dropped. Look at the accident and emergency along Lagos Ibadan Expressway. It's super. Look at our world class bonds unit at Bagada. Look at our teaching hospital. Look at upgrading of general hospital. And finally, they've moved emergency management to the highest level they could do in public service by appointing a permanent secretary for Lagos State Emergency Management Agency. So it's super.
Why was there a need to improve on all of this? Why was there a need? Is it because of the frequency of emergencies and all of that?
It's because of the topography.
Okay.
It's because not only that, it's because of the topography, it's because of the economic value of the state. We are bringing a refinery. When you are having a refinery, you must be able to build the resilience around that area. And that is where we have the security emergency section at Ekpe area. And if you look at the inflow of people coming to Lagos State, look at Lagos State. Lagos State was epicenter for coronavirus. But because we have a structure in place, we are able to curtail it. We are able to reduce the mortality and morbidity associated with that. So you have to build the resilience so that you need to face the 21st century and you need to place Lagos State where it belongs, the economic center of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay. Over the next few months, what are we to expect from LASEMA?
Now, in the next few months, what you'll be expecting from LASEMA, people like us are getting tired, we are getting old, we need to commence building capacity. Building capacity. When you have infrastructure, you must build capacity of people so that they will be able to use it properly. So, personnel, building the capacity of the personnel, that is what we are going to concentrate on. We are going to build that capacity from the grassroots, which is the local level, at the world level, to the central level. So we are going to build the capacity of our local emergency management committee. We are going to build the capacity of our central emergency management committee. We are going to build the capacity at the central, and we are going to improve the infrastructure. Can't you see that we are putting CCTV everywhere in the state? This is to improve our response time. This is to improve our golden hour. Can't you see our latest sophisticated fire services? Can't you see that one way or the other, our data collection has been improved? We have a private organization that they are assisting us in data collection, in management of a emergency. We have a technical partner that is taking care of our sophisticated equipment, so that it's going to reduce the money that we are spending on this sophisticated equipment. We are changing from this civil service bureaucracy. We are now going to a what we call public-private partnership, and it's working well. To the extent that the international organization like IOM, they are now associating with us.
Can you also tell us about some of the awards you've won over the last few years?
We've won a lot of awards. At the federal level, we've won award. At the state level, we have won award. At Korea, we have won award. At America, we have won award. We've won award at the national this World Disaster Association, where LASEMA was named the best in emergency response.